Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Question says, I went to study at the Islamic University of Medina, but my parents want me to pursue engineering. What should I do? Secondly, what if they don't give me permission to go and study at Medina? Should I go and study in Medina, or should I stay and obey my parents? A very frequently asked question all of the time, especially from many of the brothers in the UK. We get the question from our brothers and sisters here in America, but we often get this question from the disciples and disciples in the United Kingdom, especially in London and places like this. And we say, it all depends. It has to be detailed. There's no one set, black and white type of answer. First and foremost is, how bad do you want to study in Medina? And what is the need and the necessity of you to learn your deen on that type of professional high-grade level? Are there people in your area or locale that can suffice you, that manage the masjids, manage the centers, that look after the people sufficiently? Or is there a need? Is there a great need of tulab al-ilm, of people that actually have fiqh and fahm and understanding, those who have knowledge of the Quran and the Sunnah, those that are calling the people to something that's wholesome and healthy, not calling the people to something that is unhealthy. All right? If that's the case, if there are many people that can suffice you and your parents need your service, then that's one thing. As far as if there's a great need for tulab al-ilm, and there's a big gaping hole in the Muslims and the management of the Muslims in your town or your city, then that's a different story. But at the end of the day, there's nothing like knowledge. Say, oh Allah, increase me in the ilm. Give me more ilm. This is what the Prophet ﷺ was commanded to ask Allah for more knowledge of Him and of His deen. So there isn't something more virtuous than ilm. As it states in some narrations, there are hadith marfu'ah, which are not authentic, but it's authentic that Az-Zuhri, Sufyan ibn Uyayna, Thawri, and others, they said, مَا عُبِدَ اللَّهُ بِمِثِلِ الْفِقْهِ. There wasn't a way of worshiping Allah greater than fiqh, greater than having knowledge of the deen, fiqh of the deen. مَا عُبِدَ اللَّهُ بِمِثِلِ الْفِقْهِ. So the concept of knowledge and its virtue, its excellence, and its superiority is just uncomparable, it's immeasurable. But if your parents need your service, if your parents need your money, they need you to help out, then that's a different story. As the Messenger of Allah, he told his companion, when he asked his permission to go out and fight jihad, to go out and fight in Allah's cause, which is from the greatest acts of ibadah. He says, is your mother alive? He said, yes. He says, then go, فَلْزَمْهَا. Stick to your mother, be with your mother, serve your mother. فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ تَمَّتْ إِنَّ قَدَمَيْهَا. Because paradise is at her feet. Not paradise is at the feet of the mothers, but at her feet. We all know the well-known hadith in Sahihain, when the Prophet ﷺ was asked by another companion to make jihad, to fight. He says, Ahayyun walidaka? Are your parents alive? The man said, yes. He said, Fafihima fajahid. He says, fight with them. Struggle with serving them, with looking after them, with taking care of them. However, and in most cases, and Allah knows best, the parents don't necessarily need your service. The parents don't necessarily need your money. The parents don't necessarily need you for their tea in the morning and their supper and the bread and the porridge. They don't need that. You to actually look after the goats and the sheep and actually tend to them and serve them on a daily basis. In most cases, that isn't the case. In America, in the UK, with Muslims today, especially different brothers and sisters whose parents migrated from other countries, that's not the case. In most cases, the parents are well off, well taken care of. And in most cases, and Allah knows best, it's more of an issue of they dislike knowledge, or they are ignorant of the virtue of knowledge, or they may be afraid of what's going to happen if their son or daughter goes and seeks knowledge. They're going to become extreme, or they're going to be locked up, and they're going to be sent here and sent there. They're going to say everything's haram, everything's a bid'ah, his beard is going to be so long, her overgarment is going to be so dark, so loose, and then you become an extremist. Many parents are like this, unfortunately. They're unaware, and some are just plain out ignorant, just flat out ignorant of the deen and of the basics of the deen, unfortunately. So if your parents are of these people that don't have a taste for what they should have a taste for, they don't know what they should know, then I would say go seek ilm, go pursue your dreams, go learn the religion, because there are tons of engineers, there are tons of lawyers, there are doctors, there are physicians, there are physicists, astrophysicists. There's so many different people, this profession, that profession. But ulama, fuqaha, rabbaniyin, those who have the knowledge to teach the people, to raise the people, to nurture the people, are qaleel. Let alone those who are upon the sunnah, those who are trying to follow the way of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Before this person's way and these people, the sunnah way, the way of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. So that's my advice. But if they need you, it's a different story. If they don't need you, if they're ignorant, try to convince them, try to be kind with them, but pursue your dreams of seeking ilm, and ask Allah, the Sublime, the Exalted, to make you of those who are worthy of this task and worthy of this station. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants good for a slave, He gives him understanding of the religion. And indeed, Allah told us in the Quran that He made Talut a king over his people. The people, they says, أَنَّا يَكُونَ لَهُ الْمُلْكُ عَلَيْنَا. He says, how can he be given the mulk? We deserve it more. We have more right to it. It's mentioned that Allah gave him bastatan fil ilmi wal jism. That Allah gave him an increase of physical strength and of intellectual fortitude, knowledge, and science. He made him intelligent. He gave him knowledge of what He wanted to give him knowledge of, and that's what made him king. So that's my advice. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best.